Let's talk about Baba. Car, you okay to do that?
Baba.
Baba Oladotun. How are we saying his last name these days?
I just call him Baba.
Just Baba. Okay. Baba is the
Joe
number one
Miller.
player in the class of 2027. Oladotun, I think, is how you actually pronounce it. He is the number one player in 27. The live contact period just started, I believe. So now coaches can contact those guys directly. And a lot of recruitments are exploding, of course. Baba, I think, was on everyone's radar already. He's the best player in that class, the highest ceiling, most upside, whatever you want to call it. We've talked about him on the channel a couple times. We'll refresh your memory in this video of what a team will potentially get in Baba. But his recruitment is absolutely center stage here with pretty much every single program in the country. He picked up a BYU offer over the weekend, which we know is very meaningful in the new era of college basketball with the way Kevin Young is running that program. And KSR folks are reporting that Kentucky is trending in a major way for Baba, and that Mark Pope has been reaching out directly just about a month ago. Apparently, I think it was Baba's father who said he wants to handle all of these recruitments for his son, and that his dad said he was almost brought to tears by Mark Pope's first season at Kentucky. So it's long been rumored that Kentucky has a really good chance with Baba. Now we've got BYU factoring in here and extending Baba himself an offer. I think Baba even tweeted the Kentucky or the BYU offer himself. The latest full list of schools that are after Baba, Purdue, Sean London from this weekend: Houston, Duke, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Miami, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, LSU, Georgetown, Cincinnati, Baylor, USC, Maryland, and Auburn, Pitt, and BYU are his newest offers. Everybody wants him. Why do they want him, Cart?
First of all, I'm gonna call him Mr. O because I don't want to butcher the last name. I need Mr. O just to hit my line, hit my DMs. I need to know why that first season my Mark Pope brought you to tears. Because I don't see it. But look, I think that Baba, like you go back, and I think even Goodman said this in a tweet he had about him. Like you go back to 2 years ago when Baba like first kind of came on the scene. He had the Kevin. I remember when I first saw him, he had the Kevin Durant cosign. Like he played for Team Durant. He's from the DMV. Obviously the baby KD comparisons were starting to come out given his height and, with the skill set he had. But like Kevin Durant himself was working out with this kid and stamping him as like Baba's going to be the next up out of the DMV to be a really good hooper. And a lot of it was potential, like compared to the skill that he had. And to take a quote directly from Goodman on this, because I agree with it completely, that now the potential and the production are starting to match up, right? We've seen a lot of kids that are 6'8", 6'9", and in 2 years they're just like, okay, everyone else catches up to them, right? G, like you see that all the time in high school recruiting. Like they're 6'8" and they're more skilled before everybody else is, but eventually they kind of stall out a little bit and everybody else catches up and it becomes closer. Baba is still getting better compared with like that skill and potential that he had. And everything's just intriguing about him. Like he's got the long arms, he's 6'9", he can shoot it. He's good. I think that, even though he's a little bit on the skinnier side, I think that he has been a little bit more physical and stuff that I've seen. And the fact that he's in the class of 2027 and that he has shown growth over this short period of time at this young age, project what he's going to look like when he steps onto a college floor. He's going to be one of the better players that I think are in college basketball and very much in line to be like the top NBA pick in the draft class he comes out.
Everything he does just looks so easy. Like
So
when you
smooth.
watch him, he has every single dribble move in the book, and the jumper is just effortless. And I don't know if I'm just falling for how smooth it is, but it really is just, I don't know, it's easy. You're gonna hate this because this happens to a lot of guys, but the comp he gets most is Baby KD. In fact, I think that's even become like a pretty well regarded nickname for him at this point. People call this kid Baby Durant. Do you think that's a crazy thing to put on this kid? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. What would you go with instead?
See, we're gonna just fall victim to this every single time. When a kid is compared to KD and he's not KD, he's Brandon Ingram.
This video is brought to you by NBA2K Lab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well, and they're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game, and I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's it's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. Yeah, true. I don't know, he looks better than Ingram at the same age to me.
There is a little bit of Ingram-esque to it with the mid-range stuff and the pull-up, but like also that's Durant like.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we just shouldn't do it. He's Baba. Baba's one of one, right? But he's really fun. I challenge you, watch the film of Baba and try to come up with a player that's not Kevin Durant, who it reminds you of. It might be tough because this kid is like just a long, ridiculously smooth pull-up shooter that is pretty much unguardable. And I mean, it helps that he plays for Team Durant. So
Yeah, from the DMV.
yeah, that's part of it as well. Want to ask you about this. We know every school in the country is going to be on him, respectfully to like Cincinnati and Georgetown and all. I don't mean to throw strays at those schools, but like I named 30 schools that are like trying for Baba. Enjoy the time where you tried for Baba. You'll always be able to hang your hat on that. This is one of those ones we should step aside and let the big boys play. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a kids table and there's an adults table. If you don't have the funds to get to the adults table here, go ahead and step aside and go play in the backyard, kids. Baba is going to be a heated recruitment to say the least. And if his dad is really running things, I want to ask you about what you think that means. Because BYU offer is big. We know that. Kentucky, his dad has already gone on record and talked about how he was made emotional by Kentucky. I think Kentucky's been the presumed leader here, quite frankly, for a while. So if you are Kentucky thinking you might be in the driver's seat for Baba, and in comes BYU to make an offer in a recruitment that the dad is running everything for, does that make you feel better or worse if you're Kentucky about beating BYU? That it's not the kid, it's the father that is going to run this recruitment.
So it's not honestly the father thing being a part of it, I think does make you feel good about Kentucky. With that said, the part that would be scary to me if I'm in Kentucky or these other schools with regards to BYU is how many years was KY on staff when Kevin Durant was a son?
There's a connection there.
Yeah, there's a connection there. I'm sure KD speaks very, very highly of KY. KY directly was working with Kevin Durant. You want to beat Kevin Durant, you're playing for Team Durant. Durant is your guy.
Yeah.
Mark Pope doesn't have Durant's number, I don't think.
No. Well, he might, honestly. Wouldn't surprise me. Also, as you called Kevin Young KY 4 times in that sense, it made me realize I want to call Baba BO.
You can't do that.
Why? His game's stanky, dog.
All right.
His game, oh. Yeah, nah, you see that shit? That pull up. Ooh. So I- you got where I'm going with this. And again, any KSR fans, Kentucky fans that are watching this, we did a KSR interview last week that apparently was actually well received this time. That's a huge win for us and our brand and our channel. So I don't mean to immediately lose our Kentucky audience that like actually is paying attention to us. But if I was a Kentucky basketball fan thinking like, oh, I'm going to get Baba, I would not love that BYU is getting involved as I simultaneously, it's not just BYU getting involved that scares me. It's that the dad is running this. Because let me just lay this out as clearly as I can here. I don't know Baba. I don't know his family. I'm not judging character or anything here. But when you tell me that, oh, this is one of those recruitments, I can't even talk to the kid. Everything runs through the family. Do you know what that actually means?
No, what does that actually mean?
get your checkbook out.
You think, yeah, it's
Have we
time.
not seen this before? Anytime there's like the dad is calling the shots.
Honestly, it was very much news and out there that the person running Devance's recruitment was Pops.
It's identical in nature to this. And BYU just sort of remember it was like North Carolina or I don't even remember who else were the school. Alabama was really in on Debanza for forever. And then BYU just sort of swooped in late and won them over. They're going to say, oh, it was KY's NBA experience. No, it was their checkbook. Okay. BYU put rumored $7 million on the table. And 2 weeks later, he was committing on first take. So, look, I don't know enough about Baba as a person or his family to know that that's for sure how it's going to play out. But that's the number one thing that would scare me if I'm Kentucky, right? Kentucky's got to feel they can go toe to toe with any coach, any program for any player. You're Kentucky, go win them. But the only exception to that, I think, is if Kevin Young really wants to spend $7 million on a high schooler. Mark Pope's not doing that. And this might be one of those kids that needs that. I think his dad running the recruitment essentially means that. So I don't know. We'll see. And I'm sorry, respectfully, like the idea of the guy running this recruitment saying, like, I cried watching Mark Pope's first season. You know what that tells me? His family's full of come on. Like are we really believe that? He was just idly
I
watching
honestly,
Kentucky and started
and
crying.
they can do it off record because obviously you can't do that and be serious about it. I would love for a Kentucky fan to have a conversation with me and tell me and look me in my face or text me directly and be like, "You're buying that he was brought to tears by Mark Pope's first season in Kentucky." Like, come on now.
Right. It tells me at minimum there's some embellishing going on by the only person that you can contact for Baba.
Who's the best embellisher of them all right now?
Good point.
Point Mark Pope in
Point
Kentucky.
point back Mark Pope. If this is BYU versus Kentucky for Baba, though, I hope this goes on for 2 years so that we can just enjoy all the twists and turns
Yeah,
along the way.